Tim?
Oh, that sounds so lovely. He did it right as you started the flutes, too. Just so we couldn't stop him.
He did. So, as promised, I have come bearing gifts.
You have?
We've got Mad Dough. One of our listeners tipped us to Mad Dough is a small business here in Salt Lake that offers unique flavored donuts. And they looked interesting. They looked terrible to me, but they looked interesting to everyone else. And Tim is our brunch time expert.
It's true.
This is breakfast.
We might need to do a full show on Tim just defining all the rules around brunch.
Yeah. Yes, we should.
But we needed Tim's Taste Kitchen to weigh in. What do you got over there?
I believe I was just chewing on a pistachio frosted doughy donut.
All right.
Not quite a cake donut.
And Chad, you also got a couple.
I did.
And it was good.
They were delicious.
Good.
Yeah, good job on picking
Not
those
like
up.
overly sweet, which helps.
Thanks. And so I placed this order last night because I realized just so I wouldn't forget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm going to have a quick hour break. I can shoot over there from my office. I want this all ready to go. One less thing to worry about. So I ordered the donuts last night, ordered them for tomorrow.
I did remember when I did this Christmas Eve. So awful. Such a bad feeling when you do that.
Yeah. So, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. So I'm like, got to wait till the morning and call them.
Right.
I call them during my first break between court, and it's about 10:30. And they're like, yeah, well, you can do that, but we're selling out fast. So they had to hide some for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Like how Heidi does at the shop.
Yeah, exactly like that. And so I show up at noon. It's in a house. It is clearly a house that's been re-licensed to be a business.
Oh, really?
But you go in there, and my first question or statement to them, the guy in the middle, this total hippie. I mean, classic 70s hippie, the glasses, the peace
hair,
symbols.
everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
classic.
Okay.
Bell bottoms. I look at him, and I'm like, hey, I'm here for Mad Dough. He's like, yeah, this is it.
Really? Yeah.
It's also a record shop.
Oh, cool.
Which was cool. They had a bunch of origami birds hanging from the ceiling. I mean, this was a total hippie palace. They had a kitchen around the corner, which is where my donuts were held.
Okay.
And then just a table in the middle of this living room.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
So that was quite the experience. Kind of a cool little shop. If you're here in Salt Lake, it's about, it is 8th East and 815 South. Go check it out downtown.
Oh, yeah, that's where like all the houses are around the park, right?
Yeah. So I brought you guys a sampler, and here are the 4 donuts that they offer. One is the lime and the coconut,
I think I just took a bite of that one.
Fruit Loop flavors, Boston cream,
I could eat those all day.
and matcha white chocolate. Matcha white chocolate, which they kept referring to as ring donuts or rings. And I'm like,
Rings?
I don't.
No. Sorry. No.
This guy like confused the hell out of me, and I'm pretty sure this guy would get along really well with DJ Seaweed. So, just thought we would start up with that. Before we start the show, Tim, you have all the answers to America's pressing questions.
Oh, again?
How many mez out of 5 do you give this?
Is more mez good or fewer mez good?
I second that question.
I third it.
So
You asked it.
I'm going to say more mez is bad.
Okay.
So I put this at about 2.5.
Okay, so out of 1 to 5, we needed clarification on which was up, which was down, so I could go right in the middle.
That is clarity because it's not really like tickling my balls, and then it's also not really.
Oh my God! Hit the show. Just go.
There's an atom. Oh, it's a 101.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Back to the Future. I'm your host, Ricky, a.k.a. Mr. eBay. And I am joined by my co-host and partner in crime, Dr. Chad.
Someone called for a doctor?
How you doing, Doc?
I'm about 2.5 mez.
He's the Donut King, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Dr. Tim.
Here we go, baby. Prepare to be underwhelmed.
Well, on this week's show, it's March. Time for some madness.
Yes, sir.
We're going to bring you the March Madness of 90s basketball inserts. I'm so looking forward to that. We're going to cover potentially the trade of the decade.
Ooh.
Maybe that might become the new drama regarding this segment.
Boy, I'll say we only teased it last week, and we had so much listener input on that.
And the question is, will we get to it tonight?
You
gotta listen.
Time will tell.
Yeah, you got to stay tuned and listen to find out. Before we jump into all that, though, we've had another week of events getting together. It's been nice seeing some of you.
Yeah, it's been good. What do you mean, some of us?
Well, I don't think we saw Brunchy Tim.
Wait, I saw you. It's nice seeing some of us. You saw me. That's good. All right. I like it. It all works. It all computes in my brain. It took me about 30 seconds, but I'm there. I'm sorry for everyone who had to walk
2 out of 3 sums. Yeah.
That's all right. But before we dive into our weekend plans, I got to bring to you guys' attention something. We have the best listeners.
Yes.
We just got on our website, pttfpodcast.com. That's pttfpodcast.com, where you can find all of our shows, all of our video content, photos, blogs. Our blog, if you're not reading our blog, you're missing out, and you're an incomplete hobby listener. We've got some amazing stuff on there. You can visit our sponsors in one easy location or even send us a voicemail. One of the other things you can do is leave us a review. And our boy, Ranger Mike, recently left us a very nice review. The title was Best Non-Hockey Podcast I Listened to. 5 stars, which is acceptable. Great way to kill time in between hockey podcasts that I listen to. These guys are funny and know a lot about cars in the card market.
That is hilarious.
This is very kind of him. What they don't know, they do great research on and call on great guests like Chaz.
Hey, I like that. I like it.
So thank you, Ranger Mike. Guys, that is literally, if you don't have the finances to help support the show, we totally get that. This is a labor of love for the most part for us. But that is one way you can really help out the show. It costs you nothing but a couple minutes of your time. It's super easy to leave a review. In fact, our website, if you click on it, you can leave a review on the website, or it'll send you to iTunes for reviews as well. Mm-hmm. So again, pttfpodcast.com. Go check it out. We're going to be bringing a ton of great content to that website. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you bookmark it. The only other thing I have coming that I wanted to touch on is if I could do a very brief State of the Union of the podcast.
Sure.
As I just mentioned, this is a labor of love. And for those of you worried that the podcast is going anywhere, we had a bit of a development, and legitimate sponsors are starting to reach out to us. Big boy sponsors, I should say. And we're going to be rolling those out in, I think, beginning next week. I'm super excited. So are Chad and Tim. Guys, if you have the ability to vote with your wallet, starting next week is the time to do it. If you want to keep this ship afloat, we are running into the red. You can vote with your wallet by supporting us in these new products. I'm excited about this product. I really think it's a product a lot of you will benefit from.
What?
I do. I think we all benefit from it.
I want everyone to remember that for next week.
But please listen in for our upcoming sponsors. We're very excited. And if you have an opportunity to check some of these sponsors out, please do. It means the world to us and just helps offset some of the cost. Again, this is a labor of love. We're going to continue to front most of those fees, but anything you can do to help, that's my plea. Sorry about that.
It's a good plea.
Chad, get us out of this funk. Talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're skipping over a very contested segment of segment 1 that we had some developments on just before the show. Are we planning to skip that?
No.
Okay. You're just gonna make me be the bad guy. Tim!
So excited.
Ricky and I went to the card shop this weekend, which we will talk about in just a second. We invited you, but you were busy. You were not brunching this time.
Nope.
But our brunch conversation from last week really gained a lot of traction on Instagram and really brought out a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
In
more
one of
than
our
I thought it
groups,
would.
I mean, you just pulled back the curtains and spewed it all out everywhere.
Do we want this again?
Oh, yeah. So, Tim, please
Mr. Chad.
give us an update.
Brunchy Tim.
Are you still single?
I am still single.
Are you still mad at Chad and I for disclosing your secret to Mrs. X that we never disclosed? Can I tell the story?
I wasn't
briefly?
really mad. I was just like, it was a very like exacerbated for F's sake. Yeah.
Don't tell that story because people could track.
Fair.
People could track something. So probably don't tell that.
Well, and all I was going to say is let me just no facts will be given. Tim,
There are no facts to be given.
as I told Chad, Tim timmed as hard as he's ever timmed earlier today.
Yes.
When he reached out to us and got angry at us for disclosing a secret, and not 30 seconds later admitted to disclosing the secret himself.
Didn't want you guys to think I was actually mad. It was just like exacerbated is the better word.
You played it off real well. I was scared.
You did. And Ricky and I have learned a little bit. I had to make sure, instead of calling you out because we both suspected that you were the one that did it, but instead I had to prove to you it wasn't me, it wasn't Ricky, it wasn't someone else.
Right.
And then I just left it. And then you disclosed it.
Yep.
It worked out perfectly.
I
We
knew
know
where
each
that
other
was
too well.
going. Yeah.
Oh, I laughed so hard when I caught up to that thread.
Tim, when is your next brunch scheduled?
It is not scheduled.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's just that's how was meant to be going into it. Like I imagined it to be. It was just like kind of this open-ended. Hey, let's grab food every now and then.
So 3 hours at brunch 2 weeks ago. How
Yeah.
long will that hold you over till you need another brunch sesh?
Great question.
2.5 minutes.
Okay. 2.5.
What's the conversion to buns and pandas?
Roughly 0.67 buns to each meh,
Okay.
Now,
which generates 1 panda a week.
last couple of questions. Have you picked out your outfit for the next brunch session?
I
And
have
would
not.
you be wearing boxers or briefs at that session? Or none?
I might just have to go,
Yeah! Yeah! That's what we like to hear.
That's a good update.
All right. Tell us about your hot dog buns and retros and panda
Oh,
mask.
you have to give him some sort of box and time frame on this, Ricky. You have to.
You've got 30 seconds.
Okay, there you go.
30 seconds. Dabbled in NFTs last year leading up into this year. Picked a wrong one, but turned out to be the right one. But that's been a work in progress. Focused on something called retro pandas, so 8-bit pandas that generate buns, like buns that you can eat, steam them. Steam the buns, you get enough buns, you generate another pandanator, which is like a higher res panda picture out to dominate the world. And 2022 is going to be the year of panda for Tim.
Isn't he such an idiot? Isn't he, Chad? Wait, what?
So over the past weekend, Ricky, you and I went to a card shop. I will not be taking or fielding any questions on this. But I'm with Tim and we're going to be rich.
I dragged Chad into my void of whatever.
But Tim, we will be highlighting your panda success, our panda success or failure in the weeks to come.
I hope so. It's going to be a success.
It's going to be
I'm
a
like
success.
98% positive now it's going to be a success.
And I'm like 2% positive it's going to be successful.
No, because
So
the guy
together
who's in
we're
charge of the
100%.
the guy who's in charge of the project just texted me something and I haven't checked, but I know it's like something important. So
Everyone, with your hand, draw a 45-degree angle up to a peak. Now go back down 45 degrees the opposite direction, then go straight across. It's a pyramid
But
scheme.
don't worry, you're about to become millionaires because the founder texted Tim. We don't know what he
Well, yeah,
texted
the founder
him.
texted Tim to buy stuff. Tim texts me and I buy stuff. I tell people to buy stuff. And there it goes. Round and around we go.
You might want to consider another updated pack on these pandas specifically.
I agree.
I
Maybe.
think people would like to hear. I'd like to hear it.
I've gotten pretty distinct feedback that nobody gives an F about NFTs. That's the big fat F in the middle
Well,
of
I
NFTs.
think you got to be selective about where you put it, right? So if you were to do something and show the pandas and put it on YouTube where the audience is a little bit different, I think that you would potentially get a lot of hits with that. But when we have such a dedicated fan base to sports cards, I don't really know that that's the forum for it, and that's probably why you got the feedback that you did.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's fair because, far more interesting to talk about sports cards on this show. But yeah, maybe YouTube.
Yeah.
But you know what the beauty is of our show?
What?
It's our show.
It is our show.
We'll talk about what
We
we
do
want.
what we want.
That's right. And I say you should do a pack. I'll listen. If you do a pack, I'll listen to the whole pack.
I told you that 6 months ago too, man.
Yep.
Okay.
Chad, talk about what we did. That's what I thought I was throwing it to you initially.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay, so what we did, Ricky and I went to the card shop this weekend. Actually made a stop at 2 card shops. First one we went to go browse to look for some packs to open, perhaps some cards. Did some browsing, didn't really necessarily see anything, but had a good time browsing.
Right.
Nothing really stood out to us. So we went to the scene of the crime to Crave Collectibles.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Sandy.
Yeah.
And I say the scene of the crime because if you recall, we went on opening day of the card shop, and one of the hosts of the show had some pretty scathing reviews.
One?
Yeah, you.
Yep.
You.
Little revisionist history here. I seem to remember a couple of us teasing him.
Well, we'll see. I was enjoying the rug that they had on their floor and got ridiculed for it.
You were. You were.
Did. Somehow that was supposed to be a compliment and it got turned into an insult.
That's true. So anyway, we went back. Ricky said, hey, let's go check this place out again, which I was very surprised by. And you have been there without Tim and I since opening day.
What?
And you told me that you've enjoyed it there, right? Unless you were just making that up.
That's not true. I never told you I've been there since.
No, he hasn't. That's why
You told me there was a back room. You told that to me Saturday morning.
That's how
The
we
back
knew.
room was not open opening day.
I think I saw the door open and pointed.
Busted. No, that's bull.
What?
You literally said those words to me.
Well, maybe I'm just clairvoyant. I don't know.
No, that's totally one of those things where, like in a detective movie, like the person who's guilty like gives away a little bit of information that he's not supposed to know. Like, just
Look,
that was you.
This would be the time for me to give the big reveal and tell you guys, yes, that happened. That didn't happen. However, I was evil in my intent. I'd been planning telling you, let's go to Crave for about a week.
Oh, he's been scheming.
I'm going to get him out at overtime.
Yeah.
And then I am going to go to Crave with or without him.
Yeah.
And he rode with me.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
He did.
Well, I
How'd
want to
that
go
go?
check it out. We were talking that we wanted a little bit different experience, and so we went and checked it out. So this time was a little bit different.
It
and I
was.
think we should highlight it.
Yes.
Yeah. How was it different?
So they have a back room that's open now, and you walk into that back room, which is about the size of our podcast studio here. So maybe
Not a big room.
15 by 15.
yeah.
It might
But
be
it's
smaller.
filled with those very large white storage boxes.
Oh, okay.
It's
Like the
filled with
cardboard ones.
Basically Kyle's house.
Some cards are just singles, penny sleeved, from all eras of sports, and all sports are back there as well. But one box that was super cool, and you're going to know exactly what this one was, it was 90s inserts.
Hey,
And they were all top loaded.
Picked one up.
And
you
picked one up.
did. Why is it
A little,
horizontal?
Jeff, well, it's one of the triple cards, though, in a way, in a
okay.
sick way. The back shows it better.
Okay. Yeah.
Jeff Malone, David Robinson, Scottie Pippen. Got it for a nice price.
Yeah.
$1?
Less.
What?
Yeah. They were
Oh.
awesome.
50
Cool.
cents?
50
Hey,
cents.
that's fun.
It was a great room. They had a sofa there, and
Yeah.
they are just encouraging you to go back there, sit, and just thumb through
rifle through
cards.
cards.
Thousands of them.
Honestly, I really want us to do a show from there, from that back room, and just look at the 90s insert box.
Yeah.
And just the three of us sit there and just react to what we find.
That was so much fun. And that really kind of spurred what's going to be segment 2 of our show today.
Yeah.
I was looking at those 90s inserts. But,
Right.
we stayed in there for a little bit, and then we went out to the main floor, and they were just putting up some of their merchandise because they had just opened up. Just with robberies going around across the nation, they want to protect their product and want to be safe. Looked at some singles. You ended up grabbing a box of Flux, which was interesting. You were talking to the store owner or worker there of the day. I'm not sure.
I think
what
there's
his
like,
role was.
I think they're kind of like our show. I think there's like 3 or 4 partners that
partners,
are all
yeah.
owners. And he was definitely one of them. We saw this new product, and we actually saw, they have like a little, I wouldn't call it a bid board, but they're just individual cards that you can go pick up and buy right off the shelf. And I saw these Panini Flux cards, and they were numbered for Gobert and I think Donovan Mitchell. Maybe it wasn't, but
I think it was Bogey. Was the other one.
yeah, it was 2 Jazz players.
And I was telling you about a Donovan that I was
Right.
eyeing up.
That's right. And I had never seen this product, Panini Flux. I've never heard of it, never seen it. Seemed kind of interesting. I was a little worried with all the yellow, and those worries were well-founded, I think. But I did end up buying a large retail box. I don't know what they're called. Big box, big boy. What do you call those boxes?
Mega box?
Mega box. There you go.
I don't think
That's what he called it.
Yeah.
I'll trust Tim's opinion on this.
Right.
But
I've learned I got to be careful what I say if I'm not 100% certain. 100% certain. Because you, look yourself, you know who you are, will come after me.
You've ruined it.
Yep.
But I did get a box and had some fun with it. It was less than $100.
Well, that's all that matters. You had fun.
Yeah, and I did bring a good representation of the different hits, and I'll start just half and half.
Yeah, thank you.
They've got some different inserts, and one of them, they've got silver. They've got different parallels, red, pink.
Oh. I don't like these.
No, the yellow really kind of interferes, I think, with a lot of the card color.
Well, but that's kind of the theme that they were going for, like
It
the
was.
black and yellow. That's going to be the future Jazz colors, just FYI.
So hideous. By
I
the way.
mean,
Yeah,
I went to Vivint Arena this weekend, and that's all over the place. That's
I
a done
know.
deal. Yeah.
It's which is horrific.
I don't like the look of these cards. There was a Donovan Mitchell I was eyeing up online. It was an encased card number to 18. I think it was a Titan.
Right.
I think it was called Titan, and that card looked really good. But
Yeah.
these, I don't like these.
No, I'm not a huge fan myself. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah,
like
no.
that
So
auto.
these are base cards, right? Like I'm holding a David Robinson and a Steph that are, they don't look like anything special, but they look like the hulked out refractors from the 90s.
You are
do.
absolutely correct.
Like why would you deliberately make a card that looks like that? Nobody wants a
Right.
card that looks like that.
and not just the background, the player.
the player. That's what I mean. Yeah, they're like,
Well, and here's the kicker. They do have a couple inserts here.
There you go, Ricky.
I like the Pete Maravich. It reminded me of the Christmas colors, but that's just because I'm a homer.
yeah.
Homer for Christmas or for the Jazz?
Both.
Okay.
And Pete
Pete
Maravich.
Maravich.
Santa Claus is your guy.
Okay, here's the kicker. So they've got this insert. Santa is my guy. Here's the kicker. They have this insert called Deja Vu. Okay,
Yeah, I saw that.
Detroit Pistons.
Yep.
2 Pistons. Then they've got this Deja Vu with James Wiseman and DeAndre Ayton of the Suns and Warriors.
That makes no sense.
What?
That makes no sense.
We should do a paid podcast where we talk about like the backstory secrets of like Chad, Ricky, and Tim.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. You guys are gonna.
Someone will pick that off and they'll be laughing. The rest of you, I'm sorry.
You.
But continue. That's a cool insert.
Yeah. So anyway, that I thought was weird. The insert. I think it's weird to like combine teams. It makes more sense if it's the same team.
We're the same player, right? Like,
Yeah. Or like but have like a retired player from that team and a current player.
that would make far more sense. Wiseman's been hurt the whole damn season.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Unfortunately, that was like one of my better hits. But anyway, it was fun to rip some wax. It was fun to kind of see a new product that I'd never heard of and kind of learn a little bit about it. I wouldn't highly recommend Flux, but I will tell you this. They do have a lot of big name autos, not necessarily superstar autos, but big name, meaning I hit an auto which wasn't guaranteed of Clyde Drexler, or excuse me,
Terry Porter.
Terry Porter.
We were talking about Clyde Drexler before.
Yeah. And was surprised actually. I was telling the boys, find out that Terry Porter had not made it to more All-Star games.
Right.
But I saw an AC Green for sale online. You're going to get a lot of these older 90s players autographs. It may be a really inexpensive way to do so.
Yeah, that was a cool pickup. Yeah. I like that. The shop, couple other things that they had there, some autographed baseball bats, which were fun to look at. They had some repack products that you were talking to the store owner, we'll just call him, about.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. 2 additional things in this segment.
Yeah.
I picked up something there.
Oh.
Last weekend. Ricky and I were thumbing through the baseball bats, and the guy said, "Oh, I've got some jerseys too." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I don't really collect jerseys," but he stopped me right dead in my sentence when he said,
Starts chucking him on the couch.
he tossed one out.
From where?
It was blue,
Oh.
and it was autographed,
Uh-oh.
and it was the number 3.
Oh, no. What did you do?
I got us some decor for the studio, my man.
Oh, my goodness.
Drew
Why?
Lock
I know,
autographed
but like,
jersey.
why?
We're hanging it up right behind me.
Broncos are going to the Super
I
Bowl.
think I still have veto power somewhere.
I brought a 3M sticky to hang this up.
Yes.
A hanger. It is authenticated by Beckett.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh.
And all it took for the Denver Broncos to trade this man is me to buy an autographed jersey.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Look at this, full size.
That will
Go down to my knees.
that will stay
Beautiful. Embroidered.
Don't go down to your
that will
knees.
stay in this studio
No, the jersey will go down to my knee.
It will stay in the studio for perpetuity.
Look at that.
You know what I need to pull out now is my Trevor Simeon jersey too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw this Drew Lock autographed jersey. I'm like, yes, we are getting it,
Please
and
don't
it's
tell
going in
me
the
you
studio.
paid money for that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he did.
Oh, God.
I did get it for $40. Now, I will say this. At the time,
He was a
I
Bronco.
even told Ricky, at the time he was a Bronco, yes. But if Russell Wilson takes over number 3, we can just put some tape right back
Oh,
there. You know?
yeah,
A little
yeah.
piece of tape.
And we can just wipe that auto.
But
and,
I could just wear this as a normal Broncos jersey, and it's cheap. I mean, his autograph brought down the value of this jersey by like $100.
If
I were to just buy a-
one too, yeah.
Buy a Bronco. It's not the
No,
front of it,
okay,
isn't it?
gotcha. Yeah.
You could
But it
wear,
still looks good.
you
Yeah.
could wear that as your Broncos nightgown.
Man, if I would have had this for like Valentine's Day, anniversaries coming up,
Oh my goodness.
Chad's
the missus. Oh, buddy.
Chad's got a rose in his mouth. And just sitting, legs akimbo.
So it was a good time there.
Nicely done.
Definitely a
Okay.
different experience. One last thing I want to share with you guys just about the last weekend as this overall theme. I did pick up a card that came in the mail. I'm probably more excited about this card than I have been in a long time. And I sent a snapshot to you guys, but I haven't really highlighted it since then. Ricky, I'll pass this to you. This is a 2011 Prime Signatures Von Miller on-card auto, rookie year, 1 of 1.
Yep. This was the one that you were asking about, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Now,
Popped up
that's
on
so
eBay
cool.
as it was not listed correctly. All it said was Von Miller, rookie, 1 of 1.
That's a really poor listing.
And I just love it. I've really been on a Von Miller kick. I made a little blog post about this. You can go check out on our website. I really love the look of this card. It looks very clean, like National Treasures, or
Yeah.
kind of immaculate with how clean it is. Not an acetate card, but
right.
And it's
boy, oh
still
boy.
got like the faded photo in the background, so it's not just like a plain player on the card.
It looks
That's
like
a-
first year national treasures.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a very clean auto. The 101's in a good spot. It says rookie on the side. This is 0 out of 5 miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super happy with that one.
That's great.
So, what do you think the out of 10 looked like? Was it just the signatures logo was a different color or something?
You know, I couldn't tell because I've been eyeing up the 2012 version. There's a rookie card of a new Bronco player that I've been eyeing up in the same set. And I think it is the name. So the printed name
Got it.
and the part that says Prime Signatures, I believe that changes color because this one is black,
Yeah.
the 1 of 1. And I think that's what that is. There.
Which is the best color for
And
those
so it's very
cards.
subtle,
Yeah, I like that.
aside
a
from the
lot.
numbering,
it's
obviously.
the
but-
foil. Yeah. Okay.
No, I love that big 1 of 1 stamp, just like we like.
Yeah.
Not big, but like clear.
I wish it was in
prominent.
cursive.
I
but
do too. Those are always my
I don't know.
favorites.
It's just an aside. But love the card. Super happy with it.
Oh, super cool.
Only the second card I bought this year.
Man, that is awesome. All right. Well, when we come back, we have it's March, and it's time for some madness, as I said.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for this.
So we're gonna bring you the first ever PTTF March Madness for 1990's inserts bracket. The selection committee has met, and we're about to reveal the names. We'll be back with that and more right after this.
Hey, boys and girls, we want to remind you to use the PTTFpodcast.com link for all of your Fanatics shopping. Whether you're looking to buy that Drew Lock Broncos jersey before they're all gone, a baseball shirt of your favorite team to try and forget about the fact that Manfred has ruined the game, a Bears jersey to wear to your next brunch, or some sweet college gear to prepare for March Madness, we have you covered.
Yeah.
By using our link, you help out your 3 favorite podcasters, and you'll still be eligible for all the same great savings and coupon codes that Fanatics has to offer. So head on over to our website, pttfpodcast.com, check out the sponsors tab in the top right part of the page, click the link, shop as usual, and we'll get a little cut coming back to your guys.
Yeah. Doesn't
Jimmy?
cost you anything extra.
Nothing. No, nothing extra.
Fanatics pays us.
Tim, get that Trubisky jersey. You wear that to your next brunch.
It's going to be in a Giants uni.
Get that Bears.
Tim walks
Get the
in.
throwback.
Oh, yeah.
Tim
there you
walks
go.
in a Trubisky jersey, and pants are gonna drop.
I know.
Oh, that's when I know she's the one.
Ma'am, you. The octogenarian over in the corner.
Well, this next week's going to get awkward. All right, guys. So make sure to go ahead and check that out.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the show. You can reach us on our Instagram page at PTTF Podcast. We post all sorts of entertaining content up there. We also like to communicate with our listeners. So give us a follow and reach out to us. Let us know what you got going on with your hobby collection. We'd love to hear from you. All right, guys. If I can get there. It is time.
Oh, you're there.
All right. Welcome to the 2022 PTTF March Madness 1990's Inserts Selection Show.
That's a mouthful.
It is. You're here with your our two famous hosts, Brunchy Tim and Chaz the Douche.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Not really. We got the three normals, the three big boys, here to present our bracket. This is the top 16 inserts of 1990s basketball. We polled you, the listener, to weigh in on this. And so if you don't like any of these selections, it's your fault if you didn't vote.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
You have yourself to blame.
All right. So what we've got is we've got 4 regions, each with 4 teams in their bracket or inserts. We've got the Abe Lincoln's Pube bracket out of the East.
That doesn't flow very well.
We've got Dick Shart's bracket, your boy, out of the South. We've got B is for Brunchy Tim out of the North.
Hey.
We've got Chaz the Douche out of the West.
Makes sense.
All right, let's find out who's going to go to the madness and be crowned the first ever PTTF March Madness champion.
These selection shows are always so critical, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
The committee is met.
They
We
have.
have intensely
Scrutinized.
reviewed, scrutinized each of these inserts. We have put down our ranks. We've had arguments.
Yes.
And now we're ready to reveal to the nation the top 4 seeds.
All right, coming out of Abe Lincoln's Pubes in the East, your 1 seed and 1 overall seed, 1997-98 EX 2001 Jambalaya.
Not much of a shocker there.
No, I think it's overrated.
Consensus, number 1 overall. The selection committee, even though you thought it was overrated, still rated very highly. This selection committee felt that they're going to have a very strong showing.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess we're going to go 1 seeds first, right?
Go with the top. Yeah, go with the 1 seeds.
All right, so your 1 seed out of the Dick Shart's South region is the 1993-94 Ultra Scoring Kings. I'm pissed at the committee for putting Scoring Kings in my bracket.
Why?
I should have better cards.
You did rate
those
them
are
very
fantastic
low.
cards.
I did.
Highlighted, though, by that iconic Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic Jordan inserts.
And one of the most sought after insert sets of the 90s.
That team's going to make a strong showing, I think.
Well, and I do as we get into the games themselves, the matchups themselves, I should say. I prefer Scoring Kings a couple years later, and I'll get into that more.
Interesting.
Out of the North, the number 1 seed, B is for Brunchy Tim region.
Yeah.
We've got 1997-98 Metal Universe, Planet Metal.
Shiny choice.
I think this is a real contender.
Selection committee not unanimous on this. I felt this team's very overrated. And
very underrated. This is our sneaky upset winner.
Ooh, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see what
Despite
happens
being a
next
1
week with this
seed, yep.
matchup.
And finally, our 1 seed out of the Chaz the Douche West region. 1992-93 Stadium Club Beam Team. Of course he puts Beam
Of course.
Team.
Yeah. He already did a whole hobby
The
pack.
Jazz bracket.
The name of the bracket is
Laser
completely
shows. Yeah.
I thought to myself, gosh, if I was sitting in a chair 2 years ago and I heard this, like, what in the world would I think? The 92-93 Stadium Club Beam Team, it's going to be hard to beat this, and really people could argue that this is the inaugural insert of the 90s, and one that paved the way for everything else here. So very strong insert. We'll see how they perform.
Yeah, and has a real demand nowadays. All right, now we've gone through our 1 seeds. It's time to find out who were the final 4 in.
Ooh.
And who will be taking on these number 1 seed behemoths.
Always has people biting their nails a little bit. Inserts all across the nation right now on the edge of their seats, wanting to know if they get in.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
If they stand any chance at an upset.
Do we have the
Those
live
Cinderella
video
stories.
feed?
Yep.
All right. Out of the Abe Lincoln's Pube East region, your Jambalaya from 2001 will be taking on your 16 seed, or I guess 4 seed in this bracket, 1996-97 Flair Showcase Class of 96.
How did they get in?
I don't.
This is a team of 1. They are highlighted by 1. It's Kobe Bryant.
That's true, and they won their conference tournament.
They did.
The
It's
Southwest
a very
East
weak
region.
overall team in
Yeah.
checklist, and they're going to face a monumental task next week.
Wow, absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Out of the Dick Shart South region, your Ultra Scoring Kings 1 seed will be taking on the 4 seed, 1995-96 Stadium Club Warp Speed. Now, these cards were pretty cool. I'd never seen these cards until we started this a little bit.
That's not too surprising.
I thought they were pretty cool looking, or could be, but you needed the right light. So we're going to have to see if they're going to be able to hold up against the big 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Out of our B is for Brunch, Brunchy Tim North region, Metal Universe Planet Metal will be taking on the 4 seed, 95-96 NBA Hoops Top 10. What?
Yeah, this was another yeah. I mean,
Does the selection committee actually have people that are in the hobby on that committee?
I'm surprised this team got in.
Yeah.
You had them ranked nicely.
Yeah.
Lots of debate over this. This is a horizontal insert,
yeah.
and
no.
perhaps the only horizontal insert in this bracket.
Well,
Yeah.
trying that position might work out for them. I don't know.
No, not when they're taking on what I think is the strongest competitor in the entire bracket.
Yeah, no. Let's
There's
be
no
honest.
Cinderella
There's-
story coming, but
Nope.
I'll tell you where my vote's going. And finally, in our Chaz the Douche West region, Stadium Club Beam Team will be taking on 98-99 Finest Court Control Refractors.
Wow. I mean, we said no parallels. It's a parallel of an insert.
Did Tim submit
That's-
this one?
Yeah, no,
No.
that's cheating the rules a little bit there. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. This team's going to be very, very sneaky and a Cinderella. This checklist contains Bryce Drew.
Ooh.
Very
Okay.
strong March Madness performance
Okay.
in the past.
Okay.
And we'll see if that card can
See if-
carry this insert.
See if
set.
Mr.
It
Drew
might be
can
able
carry
to.
it.
I don't know. Nah, no.
All right, moving on. Our 2 seed in the Abe Lincoln's Pube East region, 1993-94 Ultra Power in the Key.
Okay.
Now, this one I think could be a Cinderella. This one could make some noise. I'm not picking this insert to advance to even the championship, but I do think they'll make some noise along the way.
Very colorful, lots of foil.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, this strikes me as a kind of Duke-like choice because they'll probably lose in the conference championship.
Oddly,
Or Final Four. Yeah.
Oddly, I completely agree with that statement.
And
It's a very good analogy.
and I'm going to go bracket by bracket at this point.
Yeah.
Now-
I'm losing my mind over the silly bracket
I love being
names, and every time you say it, I just think, what am I doing with my life?
Out of
It makes me laugh.
Out of the Dick Shart South region, our 3 seed is the 95-96 Sky Thunder Noise Boys.
Wow. Okay. Throwing in a little die cut action here, trying
This-
to see how far that'll carry them.
I am picking Noise Boys to be upset in the first round.
Why?
I don't even know who they're playing yet. But I'm
man.
just telling you, I was not impressed.
Okay.
Out of the B is for Brunchy Tim's North region, the 2 seed is 94-95 Skybox Emotion Intense. This is another Cinderella alert for me.
I could see it. It's got that iconic Jordan in there.
45. It's one of the few cards with Jordan. that's
You're
number
right.
45.
Ooh,
Yeah.
he's back. Never underestimate that team.
Yep. What do you think, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, he did put on his shorts backwards, apparently, so we'll just have to see how this goes. And the picture, the Jordan and the intense.
Oh, no kidding.
We're going to have to go look that up.
Ah, how
that
about
was courtesy of Portland Desert, I believe.
Ah, that's a fun nugget.
See, who says hockey listeners are good for nothing?
You did before the show.
All right, out of our Chaz the Douche West region, the number 2 seed, 96-97, EX2000, a cut above. What do we think?
Lots of user popularity with this one. We had numerous requests for this.
Really?
The selection committee, at least for me and my seat, I'm not a huge fan, and we're going to have to see where these guys go, but I think they're very overrated.
I agree. I think they're completely overrated.
I mean, they do have a monumental task being one of the first die-cut inserts in this entire, tourney, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's find out the 3 seeds that these 2 seeds will be facing off against. First out of Abe Lincoln's Pew Beast region.
Let's hear it.
98 Ultra Power in the Key will be taking on 98-99 Metal Universe Linchpins.
Is that even spelled right?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
If you say so.
Out of the B for Brunchy Tim's bracket.
No, I like this linchpin insert a lot. I really think it looks cool. And again, another one that I wasn't super familiar with before we started this little venture.
Yeah, me neither.
Out of our Dick Shark South region, the number 3 seed taking on Skybox Thunder Noise Boys is our 97-98 Oops High Voltage.
I don't know. I mean, they're kind of playing the same style as the other Scoring Kings as far as the lightning insert goes.
That's
I
true.
don't think they do it quite as well, so I'm not sure how far that'll carry them.
And overall, in the 1 through 16 rankings, these guys did come in at number 12, and they're in the 5-12 matchup.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
Yep, that's when the upsets happen.
You always got to watch for that
Yep.
upset.
Yep, exactly. There's always one, at least.
Yes.
Out of our B is for Brunchy Tim North region, your 2 seed Skybox Emotion Intense will be taking on the 3 seed 97-98 Metal Universe Platinum Portraits.
Man, there's going to be a lot of debate over this one. I think the selection committee might have gotten this choice wrong. Perhaps coming out of a different bracket. I don't know.
So, in what way?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the popular vote would have had these guys seated much, much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly not a 3 seed.
You know, I debated, had someone not requested them to be in,
Yeah.
me as a voting member, I wouldn't even put them in. I don't care for the design of the cards. I don't think that they have good, strong team.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. But we'll see.
This card sucks. Tim sucks. It's going to be an upset
Oh,
alert.
no, I mean, I agree the card is way overrated, but I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, the public might not agree here.
It does come. Yeah, we'll talk about some things with it later. It is a rare card. It does
is
have
very
a
rare.
strong set, and that can carry it. But the visual appeal, I don't know if that's going to carry it to be a champion.
No.
All these other teams carry the hollow foil. You know, I mean, that's much shinier.
I agree. And then finally, out of our Chaz the Douche West region, your number 2 seed, EX2000 a cut above, will be taking on the number 3 seed, 98-99 Topps Chrome Apparitions.
Wow.
Anytime you get the paranormal involved, there's always a chance.
Yeah, can't argue that. Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. Strong feelings out of Dick Sharts over there.
My goodness.
Well, so what's our plan moving forward? We're going to post this somewhere online for people to vote?
Yeah, this is definitely much more of a visual thing, even like going through and listening to it. We will post the bracket on our website. We will post it on Instagram. And here's what we want people to do. Next week on the show, we're going to talk about the head-to-head matchups, and we're going to go through a round or 2 next week.
Yes.
We want to find out who the ultimate champion is.
Yep.
If you have inserts of cards, or if you have cards within these inserts, we want you to post them on Instagram and use the hashtag PTTF March Madness. Show us what you got.
I love that.
We will be posting polls on our Instagram story to highlight the matchups and see who you think each individual winner should be, and we'll discuss those next week as well.
Again, if you don't go to our website, pttfpodcast.com, and our Instagram, PTTF Podcast, and vote both places, You cannot complain when we award a champion, the true champion.
This is going to be the best week of the year for college basketball. Like, I love this week.
Yep.
We want to bring that excitement into your sports card life as well. And
Yes.
so I can promise you, I'm not going to complain about Instagram this week. I'm going to be on there and engaging with you all, and we're going to love it. Tim's going to be there. He will be asking his date, who she thinks will be winning each matchup.
I mean, she would be the type of player that, just picks based off of names, and we'll just have to see how that goes.
And she'll have a perfect bracket as a result.
And you know what? She would have a perfect bracket, and she would probably have a pretty good explanation as to why each team would going to win as well.
Oh, yeah, no.
All kidding aside.
You might need an emergency brunch date with Mrs. X.
Yes. So we hope to have a lot of fun with this. Did we leave out anything?
I don't think so.
So we got the hashtag, we got the matchups, we got the 1 seeds.
Yep.
Yeah,
We'll go into more detail about these inserts next week.
I know. There's going to be some pretty intense matchups here.
Post your cards, especially those people who requested to have each of these inserts in it.
I'm excited
Yes.
to see that. Yeah, I mean, I think the committee's going to really have to see how that goes and maybe change their mind about some of these picks.
And after you've voted, go ahead and throw to us, who do you think has the strongest bracket? Abe, Chad, Chaz, Dick, or Brunchy Tim? All right. Well, when we come back, I do think we're under the hour mark. I think we're committed to finally hitting our third segment. We are going to bring you, I want to get this right.
And while you're doing that, I think that somewhere we're missing an opportunity for people to fill out brackets. That's the other most exciting part about this, right? Okay, the three of us are going to chat about this. By the time the show airs, we will have a bracket that you can fill out somewhere, hopefully on our website. And let's have some fun with that. So go check out the website. We'll try and have something there for you.
I love it. Let's do it. All right. Well, when we come back, it's time for the debut of the newest hobby soap opera, taking the world by storm. These are the trades of our lives. We'll be back with that and more right after this.
All right, everyone. Have you ever wondered where you can actually take a look at these brackets? Just like Chad was talking about, I would recommend heading over to PTTFpodcast.com, where you can check out these super sick brackets of the 90s basketball inserts that we were just talking about and featuring and debating. Yeah. So feel free to head over there and study these brackets, find links to our amazing hobby discounts, our affiliates too. Leave a voicemail for us. Cheer us up a little bit on these, dark days that we have here and there. And just interact with us.
Leave us a voicemail. Give us your thoughts on the March Madness bracket. Who should be in? Who was left out? Bad beats. You can also visit our sponsor links. We've got some incredible sponsors over there. And you can even buy us a cup of coffee if you love the show so hard that you'd like to give a little donation.
Simple little link on the bottom left. Go ahead and click it. Very small little donation will bring a smile to our faces.
Absolutely.
Chad and Tim have done a ton of work prepping this website, and I can't tell you how good of a job they've done it is literally one-stop shopping for everything you need Back to the Future podcast. I recommend listening to it, the show on it, and while you're doing that, shuffle through over onto our blog, where we often post photos to correspond with what we're talking about.
And things that just don't carry over well in a spoken medium. And so sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's right. So head over to PTTFpodcast.com.
Do it today and bookmark it as one of your favorite sites. All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. You can reach us on our Twitter account at PTTF Podcast. It is run, contrary to popular belief. There is someone actively running our Twitter account.
There is.
Thanks to Doc. And he'll respond. And I think Timmy checks in on it as well sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I've attempted. Yeah.
I think it's mostly Tim.
But go check it out. We do post really great content on there as well. Give us a follow. It's the best way to stay up to date with the show. And I think you'll really enjoy it. All right. It is time for the segment that's sweeping the nation. And that is the trade. So, or rather, these are the trades of our lives. Now, I couldn't find great soap opera music, so I just got really dramatic ones.
Let's see what we have here.
Maybe a little pondering music.
Okay. I like it.
So, how this started is a long time ago. Actually, as far back, you know where this happened? This happened at the fantasy football draft night, where I hit a LeBron James. I'm gonna get the dates wrong. Sorry. I hit a 2020 Revolution Cosmic LeBron James number 200 parallel.
Yes.
Out of Revolution. We had a great time. You immediately said you wanted it. And so I've been saving it and holding on to it so that we could work out a way to get it over to you. Fast forward about 3 weeks ago, and I recommended Chad hold on to that Stafford.
It's true. Just for the week of the Super Bowl. I was
Right before.
contemplating selling it.
I know. I kind of screwed you there.
You did.
And so now what we have is, for those of you that are not listening hard enough, some of you already picked up what the trade's about. But for those that haven't listened hard enough, it is my 2012 Chad's Matthew Stafford 2012 Prism Silver ESA 9 against my LeBron James 2020 Revolution Cosmic number 200. Now, as I mentioned last week's show, we did mention this trade. And if you did not hear it, you are not listening hard enough. Go back and listen again. So what I thought we would do is we did throw it out to a couple listeners, and a few listeners have weighed in.
Yeah.
Do we want to read that feedback first or make our arguments first?
Why don't we let's read through those first. And you will see me, I am over here sweating bullets because I had so many notes and data points on price.
Oh no.
And I erased them all.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
So
what
I'm
it
gonna
was
have to go from
frantically
memory.
scrambling.
This will benefit you.
Yes.
Ah.
And
I am sweating. I am so mad at myself. I had the perfect argument.
well, and on the flip side, I have taken all my notes on the outline from last week and
Oh,
saved
man.
it here in
Of
hard
course.
form.
Of course. So you're a lawyer.
Send me back. Send me back to the trade negotiations.
Those don't have your notes, do they? I assume. That would
No,
show.
I had my own personal notes to hide from you.
Yeah, I do that every week.
Tim, do you got a pen over there?
Yeah, sure.
Toss me a pen, buddy. Oh,
I got you.
got one. Thank
I
you.
got
And while you read those, I'm going to try and gather my arguments.
Okay,
Oh, man.
so
Okay. Let's hear it, Ricky.
we did get some pretty good feedback, and it does seem to be on both sides.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually kind of surprising as a innocent bystander or third-party observer.
Yeah, well, and Tim, what we're going to do here is after we read off these listener reviews, Chad's going to make his argument as to what needs to change in this trade to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make my argument about what needs to change in this trade to make it work.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because there's going to be some debate.
I wouldn't say that you're the ultimate ruler, but you definitely need to weigh in. So you're going to find yourself in a tough spot.
We'll see. Yeah.
All right. So some of the listener feedback. Sorry, I got to jump between outlines.
Yeah,
All
but-
right. So Legacy Cardboard wrote that he would take the LeBron as a numbered parallel of an NBA great.
Yeah.
Coach Will Robb says it sounds like a good trade, and personally, he would prefer the LBJ.
Wow. 2 for LeBron.
Baby eBay wants the Stafford because he hates LeBron.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
There's a legitimate argument.
Oh, and he's also demanding a backpack price back.
He did. He
Yep.
definitely did.
Definitely he did. Kevin Cormier wrote,
Little.
I like the sound of that.
it's an
Yeah.
interesting one. I'm going to censor that one. We're going to come back to that. Nabrolian PC, the Stafford is likely worth more now. Panini first year has to count for something too. Mostly 90s basketball. Give me that LeBron. Friends don't let friends collect Lions cards. I gotta say, that did give me a little PTSD from when I would trade with my cousin, who was a big Bulls fan, and just trade away all my Jordans for Jeff Moore and David Robinson.
That's rough.
Coup Coach City B, Ricky needs to fork over more for the Stafford. I think the Prism Iconic set has nothing but growth ahead. That's solid in the Chad camp. Mysticata, another one solid, I think, in the Chad camp. Ricky, you need to add a lot of Jerry Judys.
Which, at the time he wrote that, was quite funny. All of my Jerry Judys, overnight, we were recording this a day after the Russell Wilson trade.
Yeah.
They all went up significantly.
Really?
At least according to card value predictions.
Well, you took away one of the receiving threats in Noah Fant, right?
Yeah.
And
you got a quarterback.
you got a quarterback.
got a-
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, he needs hands too.
That's a good point.
Finally, Junk Wax Takes wrote, I'd rather have a numbered LeBron, and it's not even close. So there's one in the Ricky camp. So we appreciate that feedback, and we are going to randomize those names and send out a backpack prize pack, which we will announce on Instagram. I'll take care of that portion of it.
Excellent.
But what I thought we would do now is dive in, give Chad an opportunity to talk about why the trade is fair as is or what needs to change.
Okay.
And then I'll respond, or I can go first if you need a little more time.
Why don't you go first? I'm listening.
Great. All right. So, Tim, I'm going to address you.
Okay.
I first argue this trade, I will keep it as is and acknowledge that I'm getting screwed.
Interesting. You're just openly admitting that you're
Yep.
getting the short end of the stick here.
I love the Lions. I love Stafford. I love Chad. That's the only reason.
Wow. So you're saying this is
Mine-
more of like a sentimental
Yep.
versus physical value card.
And for care for my friend.
Well, you do care for your friends. This is true.
I will. Let's see. We just lost the trade. There we go. I will tell you, I think that Matthew Stafford has peaked.
You think he's peaked
He's
because of the Super Bowl?
He's won a Super Bowl. I grant you that. He's had one, I believe. I went and looked, and I forgot to write this one down. I think he's had one Pro Bowl appearance throughout his
Really?
career. One,
Despite all those yards and touchdowns? Yeah.
maybe two. but
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it's one.
That sounds right.
The only way his career improves at this point, in my mind, is if he makes the Hall of Fame, and I think he's on the fence for that.
Yeah, I actually heard a lot of debate about that the other day on a different podcast. And yeah, you could argue he's on the outside looking in because, you know, there's a lot of other generational quarterbacks right now.
Especially with the latest wave
Yeah.
out of the AFC.
Yep.
Finally, under the Matthew Stafford tab, there's no chance he repeats as Super Bowl champion. The AFC is just too loaded. You've got even Aaron Rodgers, I think, is dangerous. You've got a lot of dangerous NFL teams or NFC teams, excuse me. He just there's just too much competition. I just don't see him ever reaching into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Cooper Kupp's not going to completely wreck the league.
Well, and Von Miller's running back to the Broncos.
That's what we hope.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
My second point, and I'll try and get through these a little faster. LeBron James. He's the second best basketball player of all time, currently. He could be the first by the time his career is over. He's a 4-time NBA champion, 4-time MVP, 4-time NBA Finals MVP, 18-time All-Star.
That's a lot.
Additionally, only the greatest of the greats in cards increase in value over time. LeBron James meets this criterion. Matthew Stafford does not.
Yeah, valid point there.
Matthew Stafford, the Matthew Stafford Prism on February 13th sold for a PSA 9, $140.20.
Doesn't sound like very much.
I do have to note, though, that back in December of last year, it did sell for as much as $250.
Okay. As did a lot of cards as far as that little drop.
Yep. But now you have February 9th, PSA 10 sold different PSA 10 sold in the range of 380 to 800. So that kind of changes the numbers a little bit. That 800 number could be problematic for me. LeBron James, an SGC 10, which I acknowledge this card likely will not be, sold for for $167.50.
Say that again.
A PSA 10 sold for $167.50. SGC 10, not PSA 10.
Of the LeBron?
LeBron. Galactic, the non-numbered parallel, because there's no direct, I couldn't find any comps direct to this LeBron. So here's the closest I could find. The Galactic non-numbered parallel, PSA 10, sold for $3,261.
Yeah, those are super rare. So wait, you're telling me that the LeBron SGC Cosmic 10 sold for $167?
correct.
Yeah.
You screwed up saying that.
Yeah, I know. You just
I'm-
helped your.
No, my argument is SGC sucks. PSA is the king.
As
Ricky does not reflect the views of Tim and Chad on the Pack to the Future podcast.
Okay, but here's where I'm going to come back. I'm making my comeback.
yeah, you're gonna need that.
Sunburst out of 75, raw, sold for 174.50. I realize this is out of 100.
It's out of 75.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you're-
it's not 174.
You're digging a hole again.
No, I'm not. It may not be 174.50, but it probably is 140.20. Those are my arguments.
So you're saying, well, let's recap a little bit. You argued for LeBron being a great that is only going to go up in value.
Right.
You feel very strongly that Mr. Stafford is not going to be in the Hall of Fame with a bust of his head.
He may, but this is about it for him.
Yeah, you think he's peaked, and you somehow help Chad by listing out values that help equalize the playing field.
I disagree, and I think our intelligent listeners are going to write in and agree with me that my raw data was helpful.
Okay.
For Chad.
So-
Yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
I've gone back over some of the stuff that I once had and then deleted. Let's start with values again, just to highlight a couple points. The last two Stafford Prism PSA 9s, Silver Prism, 140 and 250. So taking an average of that, what are we getting at? 195.
Yep.
Compare that to Ricky's comp of the LeBron Revolution Cosmic SGC 10 of 160. This card will not be an SGC 10. SGC is creeping up no, I shouldn't say very close. It is creeping up close to the value of PSA 9s and 10s.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford has won a Super Bowl in a very large NFL city. He has the same number of Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers.
True.
His card price will go up with time. He has cemented himself as a Super Bowl winning quarterback and perhaps an all-time great. He may not be done. The 2012 Prism set is an iconic football set. There are not many iconic football sets. 2012 Prism across the board is a big deal. More so in basketball right now, but the football market boomed this year. Who's to say it won't continue to go up? And if so, collectors will turn to that 2012 Prism set just as they did with basketball.
Agreed.
The pop count on this Stafford PSA 9 is 7, with only 5 higher than that.
Okay.
This LeBron is numbered to 100.
Right.
Rarity matters. This insert is very rare. Silver inserts now are not rare. In 2012, they were.
Okay.
Parallels, but yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's important. LeBron is a GOAT. Revolution has no significance in the hobby right now. A third year LeBron, third or fourth year of the Lakers, whatever year he is with, is not, of Revolution, is not an important year or set in basketball. And over time will not hold any iconic value. If this trade were to go through, you would need to give me the LeBron, and it needs to be graded in a PSA slab that you will front the cost of. And I will need to examine it because my last point is I've seen some of the cards that you've had. Sure, you've hit a Luka PSA 10 out of the junk box, but I've also seen some corners, and I've seen some fingerprints.
Oh, we're going to come out with the personal attacks.
Yeah.
He's digging for this one.
Chad.
Wow.
And so if I'm going to get a card, I want to make sure the condition's good.
Okay.
You've got a cemented, known thing with that PSA 9. There are so few of these out there that you can't just go buy one.
You said there were only 7 of
That's
the PSA
correct.
9?
That's correct.
That sounds really low.
It's very low.
It does.
Wow.
And lastly, as a piece of sentimental value for me, the 2012 Prism, at least the quarterbacks, it's something I'm trying to build a set of. And I've got several of them. Old Matty Stafford here is one of only a few Super Bowl winning quarterbacks from that set. So I'm going to need to review the LeBron,
Okay.
and it's going to need to be graded.
Well,
Boy, that music was perfectly timed.
that was. I just have very brief response.
Okay, go ahead.
He does have a PSA 9 with Pop 7 so far.
You're helping him again
No, Pop 7 so far.
so far.
That
okay.
could grow to any number. We don't know the ultimate number that Pop could grow to.
After 10 years, it ain't grown, bro.
Unlikely, yeah.
Versus versus a known. We know there are no more than 100 versions of that card. Period.
Yeah. You could also argue that there might not be 100 circulating because not very many people are opening Revolution.
That's another point. Additionally, that's it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah,
So
that's it.
on that
You
note
might
with the
have one.
Stafford,
Yeah.
this card is 10 years old now.
Yeah.
There
It
is not going to be a whole lot of unopened wax from 2012 Prison Football.
No, not in good condition either.
This doesn't show me the entire breakdown. 12 total cards, rated 9 or 10.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yep.
You review this card. Let's say it passes that first review. There's no thumbprints. I agree to submit it to PSA. You taking that card blind?
Is Love blind?
Dun, dun, dun. We're going to keep it on that cliffhanger, and we're going to send it to Tim to give his thoughts on this.
Interesting. Well, Chad is definitely leveraging his position here. He's made some very good points as far as rarity. We've been talking about rarity mattering, and the set, I agree, 2012 Prism, far more iconic than anything Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Even LeBron's quote-unquote Laker rookie year Revolution card. And this
And
is
that
not
wasn't his rookie. His
No,
Laker rookie.
Exactly. No.
That's
So
a
this
low
is
blow,
2020.
man. That card meant something to me. And the 200 I bought one time.
Yeah, that stack's still sitting in a corner in your basement somewhere.
Someday, though. Someday.
I had to throw a jab myself. I felt
Yeah,
bad at throwing
yeah.
a jab at Ricky.
Oh,
But
no.
I don't. Screw you. This
No,
card's
yeah,
mine
exactly.
and you're paying for it.
Focus. So point to Chad for those two things, the rarity
Mhm.
and then the set. Value-wise, I mean, it's debatable if you can really say that, he's that much far ahead. I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, you don't know what that LeBron's going to be when it comes back a PSA 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could be very, very heavily in favor of you as far as, or in favor of the value of your card.
Right.
So I think, Ricky, you need to hedge on this a little bit with the clause that he's putting in as far as your card coming back in a PSA slab.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs to be a protected PSA grade. As in, if it's a PSA 10, it stays in your pocket. But if it's a PSA 9 or lower, just like a protected draft pick, the
See,
trade is a green light.
Objection.
I was about to get pissed at him.
Objection!
I like where you're thinking, Tim.
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honor. I will not forfeit any potential profit from this.
Oh, yeah,
Because I am taking on the risk of not knowing what this card will come back as. We have all submitted cards that we thought were in great condition have come back PSA 6s.
True.
well, what are you complaining about, though? Because a PSA 9 or less, you're going to get that card.
If I'm taking the risk of getting an 8, 7, or 6, I also have to be able to obtain the potential benefit if it comes back at 10. I will not assume the risk without potential reward.
Remember last week we'd played What's in the Box?
Yeah.
You had a 101?
Yeah.
And we talked
Did
about it? Yeah. You had a,
Oh, yeah. Your Cortland
PSA
Sutton.
10.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
Demarius Thomas. Yeah.
Remember when we played that audio? Or the audio from that? Where I said, it was never my card to begin with?
Yeah.
I assert to you, Mr. Dr. Kim, this Stafford was never Chaz to begin with.
Ooh.
Except for when I bought it.
Well, that was on you. You bought a card you don't
To complete the set I was looking to complete.
Your arguments.
But
have
man,
been
he makes a
very,
good point,
very
doesn't he?
poor
I'm just
tonight, Ricky.
hey, all I'm doing here is Tim is slamming most of my arguments, so I've got to play to the audience. I've got to get them inflamed and enraged.
And confused, apparently.
This is the only time in the show's history I've made a point better than Ricky, so we're okay.
Yeah, no, and that's with your notes being deleted. So nice
You
recovery.
did very
Nice
well.
recovery.
You did very well. All right. So what we want to invite now that we've already let the VIPs come and comment on this trade, and they did so over the last week.
Yeah.
The rest of you can listen harder. We want you all to weigh in. Reach out to us on our website at pttfpodcast.com, on our Instagram at pttfpodcast. Reach out to us. Let us know, is this trade fair as is, or does one of us need to do more to incentivize and move this trade through? You've heard Chad's take. You've heard mine take. We're far apart on this right now. Maybe we can get closer.
Tim, I appreciate your input. I will send over the Panda Mater later.
Just pay me in buns. Just pay me in buns.
All right. Well, before we end the show, I do want to tease our next episode of this soap opera that is The Trade. I can't tell you exactly when it's going to happen, but if you want to know, will the LeBron get graded? Who will pay for the grading? Will Tim offer a Panda NFT for one or both of these cards? I'm going to have to censor that. Tune in next time to Tune in next time to As the Trade Tables Turn.
It's a mouthful.
It is. I can't. I give up. Let's go home.
It is the day we always record on Thursday night.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No.
What?
I threw you both off your game. I apologize.
That's all right. We love you.
I blame brunch.
All right. For Chad and Tim, this has been another really fun show. And this is Ricky, the March Madness, wishing all of you a one of one night.
This is Dan's card account, and this is my entry into the giveaway contest. I learned my lesson from the last voice message I left and wrote this one out. Hopefully it doesn't make 2 minutes feel like 2 decades like my previous one did. I know nothing about football or basketball cards other than Prism is good in both. QBs and dudes who score lots of points are good. By the way, in basketball, is that the two? Is the forward the two? I'm not even really sure what either of those things mean, to be honest with you. And as is always the case, no matter the sport, shiny is important. So if I were Chad, I'd require something like a PSA 10 Juan Soto rainbow foil rookie card. So there you go. There's my thoughts. But seriously, why is the point guard not the dude who scores the points? It has point, right? Basketball's dumb, and go Jays.